I want to ask you all a question. Is there more God after the stillness, after the meditation? Or is there the same amount of good available to each and every one of us? I hope you know the answer. It's the same. It's the same. Nothing changes. The universe does not change. God does not change. Light and love and holiness and sacredness does not change, never changes. But what changes is us, our attention and our focus. Here we are on June 1st. And the title of the talk today is that old Rodgers and Hammerstein song, June is busting out all over. Yes? Can you feel it? Can you see it? Can you sense it? Can you know it? Is it the same miracle and the same beauty that was there in May, in March, in April, in December, in the winter of your life? Is it the same essence? And the answer is a resounding yes. But June is that moment when the whole earth feels like it's singing a symphony, a cacophony of sound and beauty and color and texture. And yes, June is busting out all over. But the question we ask ourselves today are we noticing it? Are we paying attention to it? Where is our attention? Where is our focus? Was it there all along? As it says, Jacob woke from his dream and said, surely God was here and I did not know it. Maybe Jacob did a meditation and a stillness to enliven that spirit that had gone blind, that spirit that had been set on a shelf. Here's a reality we teach in this community. Those who seek light will find it. Those who seek goodness will find it. Those that are looking for a greater expression and experience of love will find it by right of what? Everything we teach by right of consciousness. What's going on between your ears, where you're putting your eyes and your ears, your heart and your feeling is going to determine exactly the kind of experience you're going to have on earth. Nothing profound about my unity message today. But perhaps it's exactly what we need to hear over and over and over again. It says in the Gospel of Matthew, let's read it together, seek first the kingdom of God and all things will be added unto you. Seek first the kingdom of God, not second, not third, not when the to-do list is completed, not when you've taken care of everybody else. Now I put God, or I put God as love, as light, whatever it is, you use that energy force, give it a name, seek it first. Not at the end of the day, well, gosh, I've gotten everything done. Now maybe I'll turn to that infinite divine presence within me, and then everything will be okay. That God, that goodness, that abundance, that prosperity, that love is available at all times, and our attention and focus must be there at all times. We don't need to go to a mountaintop. We don't need to ascend to the top of the tallest mountain to find that essence, right? We don't have to go into a fancy ancient cathedral and suddenly we can feel God more there. We don't have to hold our body in a certain posture or position. We just have to bring our presence to the altar of life, to the altar of June, July, December, November. If we want to experience the essence of God, we must bring the presence of our divine self. Presence precedes essence. Say that with me. Presence precedes essence. Your presence, your focus is going to determine how much God, good, light, and love you are experiencing. Yes, it's as simple as how long can you sit still? How long can you be quiet from the noise of the world, the noise between your ears, long enough, no matter what's going on, because it has nothing to do with November or June. It has everything to do with you. Has nothing to do with the experience you're having, good, bad, or otherwise, and everything to do with you. Sitting still long enough to feel the pulse of the earth beneath our feet. And she's whispering, I am. I am. Say that with me. I am. Feel the vibration of I am and feel it coming to your left and your right. I am. Together. I am. All creation is singing, I am. And sometimes it's beautiful as flowers, and sometimes it's dark like winter, but it's the same essence and the same presence. We must find the altar within our own heart and listen to the I am that is breathing us, breathing the people around you, breathing the earth. Every blade of grass holds a sermon. Every bird that is singing in the sky is a hymn to the glory of the universe. Yes? Every cloud, every breath, every experience, every moment, every person is a testament to this marvelous world. And it's an old hymn, but I love this hymn. And every time I stop and I pause and I begin to remember, then sings my soul, my blessed God, to thee. How great thou art. Come on, sing it in unity. How great thou art. Then sings my soul, my blessed God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. All the altos in the room are saying, my gosh, could he go any higher? You know, God is the same way up here as he is down here, as she is down here. It's the same essence, the same presence. I must bring my presence to know that essence. The human race has been so distracted. Have you noticed this? What are we distracted with? You know, I ordered something this week online because I needed it. You know that little hump that you get on your back? And I ordered this thing that said it would take care of that hump. And then I read the instructions about why that hump was there. Here it is. We are so distracted with what's going on here. This is our posture. I'm challenging you, as June is busting out all over, to be aware that June is not busting out in your phone. And that slowly but surely, it's an aging process. I realize that my posture isn't quite what it used to be, and it has nothing to do with my age. It has everything to do with this. We have become so distracted by what's going on there that we have forgotten God right here. We have forgotten the essence of light and love that's sitting right next to you. Turn to your left and your right and say, I behold the God in you. We are staring into screens. We are muttering complaints about what isn't working. Anybody recognize it? There was an old cartoon character, I think it was Muttley. Anybody have that running commentary going on in your head? This isn't working, that isn't working. Simple, basic new thought. What you give your attention to is going to expand. If you're not finding God, God didn't move. God is not missing. And then there's those that are waiting for the burning bush. Where is God going to show up? I got to find God, and we're looking for this burning bush when the whole creation is alive with the light of burning embers of God essence. And it doesn't have to be tomorrow. It doesn't be sitting in a certain position. It isn't looking at people you like. It's finding God everywhere. God is not missing. Say that with me. And if you don't like the word God, that's okay. We put the word love in there. Love is not missing. Say it with me. Love. Love is not missing. Light is not missing. Truth is not missing. Spirit is not missing. Happiness and joy is not missing. You're missing from life. You have stepped out of life in 1,000 different ways, and you've forgotten who you are. The problem has never been God's absence. The problem of creation as we know it today has never been God's absence, but it's our lack of attention. So I would love to hire Averill to lead me in a meditation every time I start to lose my composure. Would you come do a meditation, Averill, so I can get back on track? What's that? She has recordings online. You can carry her in your pocket, but then you're going to have to pick up this. Hello, Averill. Could it be that the truths that Averill espouses when she's leading a meditation exist already in the field of you? Not only true, it's absolutely necessary. We're waiting for burning bushes, but every bush is burning, every single one. And still, we do not take off our shoes, as Moses did. Take off your shoes, for the place you stand is holy ground. We are standing on holy ground right now. Say that with me. We are standing. Essence requires presence. And you don't have to take off your shoes. Nobody wants to smell that today. But the reality is we need to take off the proverbial distractions that have kept us from finding the good. Today I'm going to talk about attention, about seeing with new eyes, about turning your soul, attuning your soul to the frequency of life, of love, of goodness. How many people have been having a little bit of static lately? Let's just be honest. The world is living static. All we have to do is turn the knob a little bit. Stop and pause. Put down the phone and be present. God is never far off. God is right here. God is now. God is all. God is in, through, around, and as everything. But let's carry it a step further. In, through, around, and as everyone. Ugh. Everyone. We cannot make exceptions. It may be forgotten, it may be buried, but ours is to look more deeply. Elizabeth Barrett Browning writes this. Let's read it together. Earth's crammed with heaven, and every common bush afire with God, and only he who sees takes off his shoes and sits around pluck blackberries. The rest of the world is plucking around with complaints. Picking. Oh, this isn't working. This one's sour. This one's not. Looking for the sweetness of life when the sweetness of life exists within you. Take off your proverbial shoes, your metaphorical shoes, and breathe. And get still and get quiet. Creation itself is writing you a love letter. Look around. June is busting out all over. There's a love letter from the divine, from the essence of life, and everywhere you look is the evidence of God's love letter. If you're not reading that love letter, guess who moved? How often do we miss it all? Glued to our worries, glued to our concerns, running from one obligation to another. You know, I grew up on a farm, and that the old adage, I can picture it right there, a chicken with its head cut off. It's not a pleasant sight to see as a child. You have nightmares about that, but the reality is the human race is running around without implementing the greatest tool for creation, what's between our ears, our ability to look, to see God, to listen for God, to feel God, to claim God, to know God, and to look inwardly. When did we forget to live in awe? I'm asking you that question. When did you forget to live in awe and wonder and reverence? Or maybe you're on the remembrance track, that you're remembering, but you forgot. You're one step, you're one thought away from forgetting again. I just say, thank God that my remembrance takes only 5 to 10 minutes as opposed to 10 years. Let the remembrance of what is true and beautiful around you live in you this June, every single second. Mary Oliver, smarter people than I, said these things. These are instructions for living a life. Let's read it together. Pay attention. Be astonished. Tell about it. Wow, there's nothing profound about that. Read it again. Pay attention. Be astonished. Tell about it. You know, the Great Commission, there's a whole bunch of people talking about the Great Commission that Jesus gave to his apostles. Go out and be the teachers. You go out and live the essence and the light and the love. That's the instruction for us. Mary Oliver is giving it too. Go, quit waiting around for a burning flame or a return of a Messiah, and be the Messiah. Be the flame, be the light by paying attention, noticing the good, and then telling everybody. Yes? Tell everybody. I'm so tired of unity being this best-kept secret. If your life has changed because you changed your mind, go tell everybody that same potential exists in them. Yes? You know, I've done a practice over the last year, and it has absolutely changed my life. And I know when I don't do this, when I forget. But I get into my car every morning, and the first thing I do is give thanks for the car. Now, it helps to have a new car. But I did the same practice. The practice started before I had the new car, and I was driving a 2002 Jeep Wrangler with no air conditioning. The practice had nothing to do with the car I was driving and everything to do with my ability to stop, to breathe, and be grateful. And then as I start the car, I set an intention. I send the angels before me. Joel and Marianne Blackford taught me this practice. Send my angels to do what I cannot do humanly. And then they go forth, and as I'm driving down the road, I say blessings to every person walking the street right now. Blessing to every animal, every dog that I encounter and pass. Blessings to every house that I pass. To every business, to every church, even the ones that think really differently than I do. Blessings to all those people, and may those who cross my path today be so filled with love that we cannot help but see God meeting God, exchanging God, and there's more God on the planet. Go ahead and clap. That's a good thing. You know, we laugh all the time. Maybe we get up in the morning. Is it good morning, God, or good God, it's morning? And I can tell you, I'll go halfway through my day when I realize I'm getting fussy and complaining and mumbling and on the phone. Nothing's working. I can tell you, I'm muttling. You've seen the look on my face, I'm sure. It's because I forgot to do that practice. And there one day I said, oh man, nothing's working here. This was way into my day. I got in my car and I drove home and I said, let me do what I forgot to do. Let me pause. Hi, Averill, can you help me out? Or how about the infinite light that was within me the whole time to stop and pause and to bless everybody I meet and be grateful for the trees, grateful for the flowers. June is busting out all over and I drove to work and I didn't see any of it. Maybe I could slow down a little bit, breathe, stop and smell the roses has a great deal of spiritual value. But just notice and pay attention. Every person I meet today is a child of God, whether they know it or not. May I be the conduit for that kind of a fire, that kind of a burning bush. What would life be like if we blessed everyone? We just silently bless them as we pass them. How many people are so enamored with your life and what isn't working? Guess what? You're infecting the world with more complaint. You're infecting the world with more disagreement. You're infecting the world with that is tearing down. I'm saying be conscious, put the phone away. And you don't have to even say anything as you cross the person in the grocery store. But say, behold, there's God. Here comes God down the aisle. Oh, and that person's wearing a certain hat. There goes the presence of God. That's hard, isn't it? No matter what anybody's saying, doing, feeling, it's the same essence before the meditation as it is after the meditation. It's the same essence before the experience as it is after the experience. I did something many, many years ago when I was unenlightened, and was not proud of it. I was in a really, really dark space, and I happened to be in Carmel, California. Anybody ever been there? Lifestyles of the rich and famous. All the people that had everything I don't have, that they didn't deserve, that I did. And I sat on the corner parking, wanting a little bit of cheese with my wine. And I decided, in an unenlightened state, I'm going to call this corner Ugly Corner. All these people with their fancy clothes walking by Carmel, California. And I said, nobody's perfect. And I began to see what was wrong about everybody, even with the mink coats and all the wonderful accoutrements and jewelry. Look at their ears. They don't have good ears. Their ears are really screwed up. How much did they pay for that haircut? Who do they think they are strutting down Carmel with their wine? And I caught myself and I went, what have I become? What is wrong with me? And I looked into the mirror and I went, yeah, this is Ugly Corner. I've made it so. But then I paused and I said, wait a minute. If I can make it Ugly Corner, I can make it Beautiful Corner. And about that time, a homeless person, yes, because the dichotomy of the haves and have-nots is evident in Carmel, California. A homeless person that looked like they hadn't eaten for a while or bathed for several weeks crossed in front of the corner. And I said, there's something beautiful to see about everybody. And that, I don't know if that was the presence of God that walked in front of me that day, because I was in my car. She didn't even know I was there, but she looked at me. This is what I saw. And then she walked on. My goal from that moment became to be Beautiful Corner, to be at the corner of recognition, of truth, of light, of God, and to start seeing. And I guess what? All those people, and the same people were coming back down the street after they'd had their lunch. I was there for quite a while. This was not an overnight success of evolution. I said, their ears are magnificent. Look at the way they walk with such confidence and such beauty. Suddenly, that which was Ugly Corner, all those people were the same. They weren't this view. I got this. What changed? The people did not change. I changed. Transformation starts within, yes? This is from Marcus Aurelius. Take this as a much smarter person than me. Can you read that okay? Together. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. I have a twin brother, and it's really easy right in your face. My twin brother can walk into a brand new house and within 30 seconds tell you 10 things that was wrong with the build. Tell you 10 things wrong with how it looks. I have that in me. He's my twin brother. That DNA exists in me. Thank God I broke free. I'm asking us as a collective, as a consciousness, as a people to break free from what is standard in the world, the status quo of the world. You want an easy out? Get your phone out and complain about everything that isn't working. Go turn the news on and complain about what isn't working. I'm saying if enough of us shift the attention, shift the focus, and live as beautiful corner, maybe this world that my grandkids are going to inherit will be a more beautiful place. But it's all based on my focus and on my attention. Here's a hard truth today. Sometimes the problem isn't the world. Sometimes the problem isn't the situation. And sometimes the problem is not the person. It's the chicken's way out. Who's the matter with us? You've given all your power away, and I'm saying take it back by right of your presence to find the essence that everybody else is missing. Marcel Proust says it this way. Do we have that one? Let's read it together. The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. I'm going to invite the band to come back up. Your attitude is the lens through which you see everything. Attune it to truth. Attune it to light. And suddenly the world lights up. It's a magical thing, isn't it? The ordinary becomes the extraordinary. And if there are those that say that's Pollyanna, that's wishful thinking, no, it is spiritual law. And we cannot and will not wiggle and budge on spiritual law. Where you are looking is what you are creating. What you are listening to is what you are creating. What you are holding here and here is what you are creating. You know, I put a beautiful member of our congregation into the ground this week, Cynthia Sneed. And it was total chaos. I'll be honest, I was a bit of a fish out of water. There was a service, and I was asked to officiate the service for Cynthia, this kind, loving, peaceful human being. And 5 minutes before I was supposed to start the service, a bishop from the Baptist church came up and said, I will be leading this service. Okay. And he told me what I was going to do and what I was not going to do. And I channeled Cynthia Sneed. I'm so grateful because I was one thought, one word away from making ugly corner right in the middle of that. And I said, this is your house. Absolutely. And then things changed. He kept telling me, cut what you're going to say. Cut what you're going to say. You just do the prayer. And then he said, no, go ahead. I felt jerked around. Then I got up and I began, welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. We're here to celebrate the life. And the organ player kicked in. I was in a Black Baptist revival. The drum kicked in, and I was like thrown for a loop until I wasn't. It's like, this is going to be fun. And I played, and I had all the same words, but I fit into the situation to deliver those words so they could be heard. And to a person, they came up to me and said, thank you for what you said today. Thank you that you didn't get pulled off course of what needed to happen here. Her 2 kids came to me and said, thank you. And then the bishop said, you go handle the internment. Go to the gravesite. Okay, John Ragland was with me. We went to the internment, thinking I was going to get to say my kind words again. And up pulls a big fancy car, and out walks the bishop. And he says, I'm going to be doing this. You can do the prayer. And I opened a conversation that was not natural for me to open up. Tell me about the church that you serve. And I made a connection with this man that he wasn't willing to make. I was one of two white people in the crowd, and I could tell that my presence in the room was offensive to him. And I could have, eye for eye, tooth for a tooth, been equally as rude, yet I opened a conversation, channeling this beautiful Cynthia's need. And something beautiful happened, and we shared the internment where everybody cried, everybody laughed, and everybody felt one, and it mattered less about the color of the skin of anybody in the room, and it mattered more about the consciousness that was in the space. That's the consciousness Cynthia brought to the earth. That's the consciousness that went into the earth as she returned home. We're often searching for God in these momentous moments, these celebrations and loud music. And little music would be great, soft music. But if you kick in the organ, I will go with it. We're searching for God with a telescope. Where's God? And I'm saying we need to be a microscope. Right where I am, right in the experience I'm having, that's where God put me. That's where I'm supposed to find the light, be the light, find the love, and be the love. We need a magnifying glass. My mother-in-law used to walk around with a magnifying glass because she couldn't see anything, and I thought, I want to channel my mother-in-law because she saw things that other people missed. To be in the moment of a relationship that doesn't feel good and get out the magnifying glass. I'm going to find God here. I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to find light here, no matter what's going on, because it's the same amount of God available at the beginning as it is at the end. And yes, it's nice to be reminded by Reverend Averill, but the reality is I don't need her to go with me because her consciousness lives in me. The consciousness of everybody in this room lives in you. God is whispering, here, now, this. Say that with me. Here, now, this. And picture something in your life that you're struggling with. Together, here, now, this. No matter what it is, hold that in your head. Bring the light. Make beautiful corner, because the question is not whether God is present. The question is, am I present enough to notice? It's not the question we're asking, is God present? The question is, am I present enough to notice? Let us be among those who pay attention and who notice.